Hello out there in YouTube land.
Hey.
It is time once again for another Lifetime Movies, a dude's perspective. This time it's going to be the Unauthorized Saved by the Bell story. Directed by Jason Lilifetime, premiered on September 1st, 2014. And the first thing I can tell you is Dustin Diamond is a whiny little crybaby.
Yep. Who basically lives off of the success of his co-stars from the Saved by the Bell.
This movie did not need to be made. Nobody was asking for it, but it came out anyway. It features horrible acting, horrible writing, and horrible production values. The movie looks like it was made on a budget of about $1.50. It had absolutely no reason for being, but it was made. We suffered through it for you guys' sake.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that Dustin Diamond literally asked Lifetime to make the movie.
I imagine he got down on his hands and knees and begged for it to be made, because absolutely nobody cares about Dustin Diamond except maybe Dustin Diamond.
Because his book was probably not selling anything.
Probably. It was based on Behind the Bell, which was a book written by Dustin Diamond, in which he fabricates a bunch of lies about his co-stars who have repeatedly refuted his claims about all the different allegations and ridiculous things that he wrote in the book, some of which were presented in the movie. For those of us who grew up on Saved by the Bell, this is a complete and total disservice to the Saved by the Bell franchise. It was the Saved by the Bell is beloved by millions and millions of people. You can still catch it daily on syndication all across the world. It really was a global phenomenon. But let's talk more about the film, shall we?
Yeah.
It begins with Dustin Diamond begging his dad to go to an audition. His dad seems to be a bit gruff around the edges, constantly blaming him about having to take him to his auditions, and Dustin Diamond thinking he's going to become some kind of great comedian, which of course does not turn out the way he thought it would at all. Because the show was about, originally it was Good Morning Miss Bliss that he appeared on, which was a show that focused on the teacher and her students. It's actually fairly good for a late 80s Disney sitcom. It did get canceled though because people weren't related, so they then switched it up and it became Saved by the Bell, where it focused on the teenagers.
And one thing I would like to point out about this movie is the fact that they force a lot of relationships in the movie. Like they force it in your face, and it's just something that I think just needs to be addressed, like the Mark Paul Gosselaar and Lark Voorhees thing. And it's like they make it out to be like it's happened, that they were kind of like flirting with each other from the very beginning and stuff like that. It's like, just stop.
Yeah, I don't think that really needed to be in there. We probably wanted more details of the things that might have went on and might not have went on. But there were several instances of Dustin Diamond not getting his way and then storming off like a little child, which of course he actually was at the time, a child. So I guess those emotions can kind of be tolerated to a certain degree. But I do have to point out that Peter Engel, who was the producer of Saved by the Bell, he made it very clear that it was supposed to be a job and they were supposed to act professional. And in no way, shape, or form does Dustin Diamond act professional. This movie was really, really, really bad. and it was a test of our fortitude and determination that we actually got through it.
Yeah, by the time at the end of this film, I was about ready to punch Justin Diamond in the face. I mean, that's just common knowledge.
Well, there are a lot of people that would like to punch a Dustin Diamond in the face. I'm pretty sure of that as well. Of course, it's not really even told from a child's perspective, so to speak, but it's like Dustin Diamond, the adult, narrating as Dustin Diamond, the child, which I guess could work in a sense. There have been a lot of different stories that have been told from that perspective, such as Stand By Me, when they go back in time and relive the events of what
The
led
Wonder
to
Years?
the
Come
man.
on.
Yeah, the Wonder Years is a good perspective on that too, but it's Dustin Diamond. That's all I can say. He's a whiny little crybaby who doesn't get what he wants, and whenever something bad happens, he storms away. And then there's this one guy later in the movie
Who's clearly using him.
who is clearly using him, who befriends him and feeds him some vodka and some pot, and Dustin kind of spirals down a little bit, and the guy blackmails him, and I'm not sure if that actually happened or not. It's kind of irrelevant, but it just goes to show the immaturity of Dustin Diamond. And I know that this sounds like a rant on Dustin Diamond, but that's all this film really was just Dustin Diamond complaining about why he wasn't a bigger success. You know, every single other actor that appeared on Saved by the Bell went on to bigger and better things. Mark Paul Gosselaar struggled for a few years, but then he got a role on NYPD Blue.
He was also in several Lifetime movies.
And he stars currently on Mixed-ish. I don't know much about that show, but I'm sure it's fairly decent. Elizabeth Berkley went on to the very controversial Showgirls, which is a so bad that it's good type of movie. So we'll maybe cover that in the future. I'm not sure. And Lark Voorhees, she was on several soap operas. And Mario Lopez is really huge. Appeared on Dancing with the Stars and is also known as the host of Extra. So everybody pretty much went on to bigger and better success.
Except for Dustin Diamond,
who will always be known as Screech. And to put it into perspective, this dude was so desperate for attention that he appeared in an adult film at one point because his career is an utter failure and this movie is an utter failure, and in no way, shape, or form showed anything about how the show was made, how many times a week they met for casting sessions and auditions and rehearsals. None of that stuff that you might think about when putting a show together. It offered no insight whatsoever. It was all about Dustin Diamond. And that, my friends, is one of the main reasons why this movie failed so hard.
Yeah. And another thing I like to point out is like even the own movie portrayed Dustin Diamond as a unlikable person because like he laughs at a very serious scene from early in the show's career with the caffeine pills episode, and
which of course isn't really that serious.
It isn't really that serious, but it's still supposed to be. It's supposed to be considered a serious moment in the show, and he just like completely just gets rid of that.
Yeah, he laughs and goes, "What? It's not like she was addicted to heroin." And I don't know, caffeine pills might be a thing, but I think that it was more than that. They couldn't just come right out and have her snorting meth or something.
Because she was still a minor at the time, you know? It's like...
And plus, it's a Saturday morning TV show.
Yeah.
So they had to convey some kind of message that might be able to get through to kids without freaking out parents. So I think that's where that was coming from, and they wanted to try to do something a little more serious and a little more edgy. And the actors, Elizabeth Berkley and Mark Paul Gosselaar, if you go back and watch, it is somewhat of a heartbreaking scene, but it has been parodied a lot because these days it's not meant to be taken seriously.
It's just I still find it really funny because
but in 1990, if you were a 10 or 11-year-old kid and you saw that and you think, wow, this is so unlike Jesse Spano, you know, that you might get the message that it was supposed to be drugs are bad and it can lead you down this dark path. But he completely undermined the whole thing by that. And also,
think about this. Like Dustin Diamond is the same age as the core audience.
Yeah.
In the first season of Saved by the Bell, he's the same age because that's when the episode premiered. He's the same age as the core audience of the show in the episode of the caffeine pills.
Yeah, he is. He is the same age. And also, he thought that him and Mark Paul were going to be some kind of comedic duo like Abbott and Costello or Laurel and Hardy. Yeah, for a more modern audience, Penn and Teller. But, or maybe even for those of us who grew up in the 90s, Chris Farley and David Spade, they were kind of a comedy duo back then too. And he thought he was going to be something much bigger than he obviously was, because he's not that good of an actor at all. So, but overall, my opinions on this movie is don't waste your time. Don't watch it. It will...
We watched it so you don't have to.
It will probably cause you to lose a few brain cells along the way. So...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we lost a few too, Dad.
Yeah. It will probably dumb you down a bit. So don't waste your time.
Don't watch it.
If you are a fan of Saved by the Bell, just watch Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, just watch Saved by the Bell.
So, that in conclusion, don't watch the movie.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week, where we will be tackling
Night of the Twisters.
Night of the Twisters is next week. So, bye to all our friends out there, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye, YouTube land.